All right, good morning, folks. It's 11 a.m. on the 11th of October 2025. Hope you all doing well this morning. Been a long day for me already. Been to Atlanta Airport already this morning and back, and worked out this morning, and went out, got something to eat. Now I'm going to do this video. Hopefully, y'all will still get something out of this. Um, what we're going to do is go over the tropics real quickly, and then focus on the continental U.S. Very interesting pattern for this early fall season with the low developing off the coast. You can see a very distinct feature dropping to the south, and that's going to be an important part of of the evolution of this system here. Right? All right. So we're going to start off with the tropics and go over the continental U.S. and then get into the model guidance and temperature forecast, wind, gusts, things like that. Um, Pretty high impactful storm. We can't forget about the desert Southwest has had quite a bit of rainfall in the past day or so, and it doesn't take a lot out here to get flooding. So with that, we'll switch to the tropical Atlantic. Okay, and we have Jerry, quite disorganized here. Um, if we do a closer in look, it looks like there's a low level swirl way up here, right? And there's a bunch of trailing, like a trough here, right? And let's see what this is the latest 11 a.m. outlook for Jerry, right? 45 knot, 15 mile per hour tropical storm. Um, Not expected to impact Bermuda in any way, so I'm not going to spend much more time on that. And the National Hurricane Center has just talked about this disheveled Jerry, and it may not last much longer. It's very disorganized right now, and more than likely, I think it'll dissipate or open up into a surface trough by the end of today. Just very strung out, right? And we have this other potential tropical development area in the deep tropics here, right? Um, and that's roughly down here. And you can almost make out a low level swirl here. You can see Jerry, just this trough really. Um, Jerry had a long history of just struggling against shear, and it managed to hold together long enough to make it north of the Greater and Lesser Antilles. But that's it for the tropics, really. Okay, and so let's move on to the continental U.S. This is the continental U.S. again, the satellite loop, right? We have this area out here, area off the coast. There's Jerry out there. This is going to be a high impact event for quite a few days here. Quite a challenging forecast as far as precip and where eventually this low is going to go. So, a good way to look at this system on the East Coast here is at the 500 millibar mid level of the atmosphere, 500 millibar vorticity. So we have a vorticity right off of the southeast coast, which is helping to um, develop the surface low off of this area here, right? And you have another potent little mid-level vortex. It's pretty potent there moving through the flow. And you watch what happens here. This one down here, spins off the coast. Maybe wants to throw some more energy on shore, right? And look what happens. All different little vorticity maxes moving through here. Just different energy. You see, eventually, these two systems phase as it moves out to sea, right? So, see it phases right there? It doesn't happen until it gets off the coast. So, um, could be a lot worse if it phased sometime somewhere in here, right? But that energy phases just as it goes off the coast there, and but either way, quite potent. Um, just different vortexes move through the flow here, so a lot of enhancement with the flow is what's causing the surface low develop, move up the coast here, and a strong surface high, right? So if we look at upper air winds, right, or surface high pressure of the surface here, let's look at the surface, okay, or 925 millibars. You see where the European wants to develop a low level of circulation here, okay? And you have a surface high up here, and you have a low here and another little, let's just say, low pressure develop, and the energy almost transfers up to this low up here, right? Doesn't quite phase like you see that right there, but still high winds along the coast here, and it just spins like that, and eventually moves away, right? But the high pressure is key here because it keeps the system from moving north, and this this large pressure gradient between the low. See, it has two low centers here. This low center weakens, that one strengthens, and you get this pressure gradient. You see the bright yellows right there? 50, 60 knots and 925, which is pretty close to the surface. So here is a depiction of the wind gusts. I think this is the best way to present it, okay? I know this looks a little wonky down here, but it gives a good idea with the wind gusts starting in the southeast here with this storm, right? This is Saturday today, 12 p.m., which is close to now, right? This is an hourly thing here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to close out a couple more of these windows, if you'll forgive me here, just to free up some so this refreshes better. All right. And we'll move through time here. 50 knots. So that's pretty stout right there, right offshore. So moving through time, you could potentially have knots to miles an hour. Let's calculate that real quick. So 45 knots is 51 miles an hour. Go back to that. All right. So just roughly 50 mile per hour at 45 knots. So you can imagine the gusty winds going to be going on this evening along the coast, right? So let's move it till Sunday morning, right? The winds move further to the north. This doesn't refresh that well, but you can see what happens here, right? The highest winds start moving to the north here. So we're going to move this over a little bit. All right, I know it doesn't go all the way out into the Atlantic here, but the highest winds are really offshore with this. But right on shore, 40, 50 knots, right? Move through time. This is Sunday, October 12th, 8 a.m. Really intense winds right on the Jersey Shore tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. Very intense band of winds right here, pressure gradient setting up, okay? So really it's going to be really pretty big impact, 60 knots right offshore. Moving to the north here. It's refreshing. Sustained, these winds are going to be onshore all day tomorrow, okay? That band of winds moves it further to the north, kind of stretching out a little bit. And then I wouldn't be surprised to see 50, 60 knot winds. I mean, these winds are incredibly strong for this long duration. That's going to be some lowland flooding. And, the wind's still pretty intense here, 40, 50 knots. Okay. And then eventually, this is Tuesday, 8 a.m. All right. And it looks like the highest winds move offshore. All right. So, next we'll go over the precip amounts for the desert southwest and the northeast and the Atlantic coast. Okay, here are the latest messages for the strong coastal low. This was issued at 4:10 a.m. I'm sure they'll issue another one here. Um, you can see chance of 55 plus mile per hour wind gusts tomorrow in these purple areas are quite high, okay, along the Jersey Shore. And the flood forecast, major flood along the Jersey Shore, okay, with this onshore winds and Virginia Shore, okay. Major coastal flooding is likely, and the strong, coastal low will strengthen, of course. Rip currents and high surf, and damaging wind gusts and heavy rain. So don't try to get out there and do anything. If you want to go watch, fine, but um, I wouldn't advise even doing that this weekend. All right. So, you know, be smart about it if you're going to go out there. All right. So, along the coast here, this is where the highest precip amounts are expected to be between today and tomorrow. 3, 4, 5 inches possible here, right? Along North Carolina shoreline. Um, okay. And stays that way. And you see the red and oranges you see out here in the desert southwest. And this could also indicate snowfall as well. We'll look at that in a second. But desert southwest stays precip, heavy precip down here in southern Arizona, New Mexico, and New Mexico. All right, and the precip chance to move to the north up here. All right. And offshore, Long Island, Massachusetts, Connecticut. All right. Going to get into the fray here on Tuesday as the system moves out, right? And into California gets into it, right? Just real quick, you look at the snowfall forecast. Switching back, you see where the expected snowfall amounts are. Quite a bit of snow here in the mountains, right? Colorado Rockies, 8, 12 inches. Up here in Idaho, quite a bit expected. Washington State, Oregon, parts of Utah, Colorado. So that's pretty cool as well. And in Sierra Nevada, so that'll be good for the climate. I mean, for the rainfall and drought for the you build up snowpack, and that helps in the coming year. So that'll be good for that. So much to talk about today, guys. It's really hard to stay focused on one thing, but um, next we're going to move on to the excessive rainfall outlook, severe weather outlook, temperatures, and that'll be about it. Okay, so this is the national radar showing where the highest precip is amounts, or most intense precip is convection, all along the South Carolina coast, all the way into middle South Carolina, um, then the southern Florida there, parts of Colorado, on the moisture treatment northward from Priscilla, right? And maybe more moisture from this storm moving up this way as well, right? So those are the big shows, of course, and we have the activity in the mountains here leading to snowfall. All right, and so we'll take that off the screen. Go to says a round for outlook for today. Wide swath of heavy rain expected. Marginal slight risk of flash flood guidance being exceeded within 25 miles of a point here, and of course along the east coast. And this is for tomorrow through Monday. In the extreme desert southwest parts of Texas, marginal risk along the east coast. And we showed that earlier with the precip amounts right off the tip of the northeast coastline here, Northern California, again, desert southwest, parts of Colorado, marginal and slight risk of excessive rainfall. I'm feeling a little bit off today with my forecasting, because I got started so late. So I apologize if it seems a little disjointed today. Marginal risk here in the desert southwest again into California. And for day 5, still marginal risk here in the parts of New Mexico and Colorado for excessive rainfall. And when we go back to severe weather, we have potential for some severe weather right along the coast here, interestingly enough. We'll have to look at that a little bit closer. And then here in the desert southwest, uh, and then to Utah, parts of Wyoming, and a large swath of general thunderstorms out here. And along the Great Lakes as well, interestingly enough. Tornado chances? Yeah, we got some vorticity maybe right along the coast here. We got a 2% chance of tornadoes here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Wind, of course, associated with that. And of course, in the desert southwest of Utah, parts of Colorado and Wyoming. Okay. And hail, we know out west it's a lot more common to get hail than in the east. So I was expecting that. Day 2, categorical. No severe, no significant severe weather expected in the continental U.S. Day 3, same thing. So what are the expected temperatures? So my friends, here is the, see if I can get this to work right. Let me zoom back out. Okay. Here's the surface map and showing the different hazards here. So that even show Jerry out here, but don't really care about Jerry right now. The low developing offshore here. these areas in hatch, heavy rain flash flooding possible. We showed that as well. Just a general idea where the surface features are. That load moves offshore, area of rainfall there, and then by Monday through Tuesday, that's where the low is expected to be. See how it's occluded at this point? Surface trough right offshore here, cold front, warm front. So occluded means it's matured, right? And it's past its strongest point. Okay. So let's look at the temperature outlook, right, for the continental U.S. This is today. Maximum temperature is 70s, 80s on the large portion of the middle part of the country and the desert Southwest going to be kind of warm today. Still 90s in the Midwest here and desert Southwest. Obviously cooler along the East Coast because of the rainfall and cloud cover. Although here in the South, it's nice. In Georgia, we have the northerly flow going on right now. You see the cool air pushing to the east here. This is Monday. It's Tuesday. That front not really making it further south, right? Actually warming up again, right, for the middle part of the country, but for pretty nice for the northern tier. We look at minimum temperatures. Let's go back. Starting off 50s, 60s for a good portion of the nation. Of course, colder out here in the mountains. Snow going on, right? Quite chilly even in the Midwest. Well, the plains, high plains. um, all this cloud cover and really cold up here. Cold up here in Maine as well. Cold temperatures stay up here in the north. Warm up some overnight. The lows warm up some briefly, and that's next Friday, right? But still cold in there in the Mountain West and into the Northeast. So I'll take the 50s in the South any day as well. So, um, yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. I'd like to talk all day about this, but I hope you all get something out of this and have a great day.